Good morning, everyone. November 1st. Can't believe November is already upon us, but here we are, Monday. Let's start off our week right with two devotionals, one from yesterday, Sunday, and today. So our topic this morning is the trial by faith. Matthew 17:20. Interesting title for a topic. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, nothing will be impossible for you. Now, Chambers is going to get us to focus this morning our attention to what does it mean to have faith, or what is ultimately God trying to do by bringing faith into our life. So a trial by faith. So he says this: we have the idea that God rewards us for our faith, and it may be so in the initial stages. Okay, so God rewards us as we have faith in him, right? Chambers says, yeah, early on, but we do not earn anything through faith. That's interesting. What does he mean by that? Faith brings us into the right relationship with God and gives him opportunity to work. So in a certain sense, faith does bring us into something good, right? A right relationship with God. But Chambers explains himself. This is what he says. Yet God frequently has to knock the bottom out of your experience as his saint to get you into a direct contact with himself. God wants you to understand that it is a life of faith, not a life of emotional enjoyment of his blessings. So God has to get us to a point where we're following him not for the emotional blessings or enjoyment, but because of true faith. So that's what he means by a trial by faith. And he uses a supreme example here of Job. So at the end of his devotional, he says this: faith as the Bible teaches it is faith in God coming against everything that contradicts him. A faith that says, I will remain true to God's character, whatever he may do. The highest and greatest expression of faith in the whole Bible is, though he slay me, yet I will trust him. Job 13:15. And if we think about that, right, Job, saying, even if he were to kill me, I will worship him. I will have my hope and trust and faith in God. The followers of Jonathan Edwards would often ask their congregation this question: would you be damned for the glory of God? Or would you be willing to be damned for the glory of God? Now, of course, they didn't expect anyone to truly be able to answer yes to that question, right? For that would be almost an impossible one to be like, yeah, I want to go to hell or be damned for God's glory, right? No one desires that, right? But it's a question meant to really make you think of, it's not about you. It's about the glory of God. It's about faith in God. It's about his purpose in the world. And so often we want to, as I've mentioned before, as Chambers mentioned before, people follow God for what he does for them, for the blessings, for, maybe even a hope of heaven. And we should, right? But are we truly seeking God in faith for his glory or for something else? Our second topic is, you are not your own. 1 Corinthians 6:19. Do you not know that you are not your own? The Apostle Paul here will go on to say that you've been bought at a price, that we should worship God in our bodies because he has indeed purchased us on the cross. But for time's sake, I'm going to end it with this quote here from Chambers. Two basic sentences. He starts off by this sentence here: there is no such thing as a private life or a place to hide in this world for a man or woman who is intimately aware of and shares in the sufferings of Jesus Christ. So Chambers is wanting to connect us to the realization that we're connected to Christ, and Christ's life was not the one we would choose for ourselves. But we're not our own. We're bought with a price unto Christ. Last sentence here. Let him have his way. Let God have his way. Let Christ have his way in your life. If you refuse, you will be of no value to God in his redemptive work in the world, but will be a hindrance and a stumbling block. Powerful words there, right? We either choose God's way or ours way. But in God's way, there's redemption, there's hope, there's a point of our life and being used. And the other way, it's just for selfish gain. Which will we choose today? I pray it is to live for God, and I pray that will be tomorrow and the next day as well. And on that note, we'll see you tomorrow and hopefully the next day as well. See you then.